Hello everyone, this is StiltzkinKupo84 with Cat and Fam Gamer TV, and we're gonna play some Final Fantasy 12. Join me on this dad's play. Let's see, music volume we're gonna turn down. Okay. Sound effects and voice can still be good. Okay, that's good. Subtitles. I like them on. Screen shake. Vibration function. Nah. We're good. Speed mode multiplier. We want that to 4x when we do speed mode. Yeah, all that looks good. Okay, so you can toggle speed mode on and off. So that speed mode multiplier was, when you toggle it on, do you want it to be 2 times faster or 4 times faster? Which, if I'm using speed mode, I'd rather just have it 4 times. A little background on this game, or well, my experience with this game. Anyhow, I played this after having played a bunch of the originals. I went back and played like Origins was 1 and 2, Chronicles was 4, and Chrono Trigger, and Anthology was 5 and 6. It had been a long time since I had played a Final Fantasy this big budget, and I had high hopes for it. The hype was all big, I guess, as it normally is, but I mean, it looked so much better than 10, and I guess of course 10 looked better than 9 before it, but I went from 9 back to 7 back to 8, and so 9 was very colorful, very kiddie, well, not kiddie, but I guess just whimsical. So Ash and Rassler are getting married here. But yeah, I mean, I went from a very whimsical game to a bunch of serious games. And I guess 10 was sort of beautiful and it was sort of whimsical, but in a different way. It wasn't the same Yasumi Matsuno style, where, you know, there were dozens of NPCs in each location, and they all had like cute little backstories and stuff. It was just, you know, just some people for you to interact with as NPCs in order to further the plot of the story, I guess. So they're talking about the invading Arcadian Empire is attacking Nabudis, which is their castle, actually.
And I will go at his side.
So King Rassler, who has just married Ash, is having his castle sacked right now, and Sir Bosch is his sort of bodyguard, and I don't know if he's like the first knight in arms under the prince or whatever, but the king there obviously is very nervous. But yeah, so when I played 12 back in 2006 when it came out, or was it 7? It was in between 6 and 7, somewhere in there. No, I think it was 2006, yeah. And I had felt that this was the first game that gave me that feeling of 9 since I had played 9, because I got this really great, awesome feeling from like 7, just due to the epicness of it, and just due to the challenge of defeating the weapons and stuff, and the way you could, you know, manipulate your party to get some unstoppable materia combinations. But the narrative epicness and the sense of wonder. And yes, 10 was beautiful. It nailed that mark, but there was just sort of a higher degree of beauty in 12. And the game was so big, and it was so wide open. You'll see in a minute how wide open this game can be. And I was just in awe of that much beauty without having to narrow the scope, which at the time was a big trope for Final Fantasy, was they could deliver on a whole bunch of beauty, but then they had to pull back the scope a little bit. And I think 12, they reclaimed their equality with other game franchises, in that they could offer both beauty and scope. And yeah, I love this game. Even the PS2 version, which after playing the Zodiac Age, which is the PlayStation 4 version that we're playing now, I consider this highly better than 2. I almost wouldn't go back and play the PlayStation 2 version, the vanilla. I almost wouldn't go back and play it. That's how much I prefer this Zodiac Age version of the game. And still back then, when I was playing the original vanilla, I still had, high praise for this game. This immediately was in my top 3 of all Final Fantasy games I ever played. So you see here the battles raging on. Arcadia is basically beating on Nelbina here, and Bosch is on Chocobo back, which we haven't seen since Tactics, if you're playing this historically. Wait, no, we've seen it in 10. My bad. But yeah, in this, I guess in this knight's armor sort of fashion, we haven't seen it since Tactics, because in 10 they were... I guess there were a few warbirds in 10, but they were mainly like, carrying carts and stuff. So, Rassler, the prince, is dead as a result of the invasion on Albina, and Lady Ashe is understandably heart-stricken. And now this poor king, whose son is dead, has to enter the negotiation table, the negotiation room, and sit across the table from this Imperial army.
But one of many tragedies to befall the kingdom of Dalmasca. The air of hope that had surrounded Her Royal Highness Princess Ashe's wedding was now quite lost. Dalmasca had been set adrift at the mercy of history's restless tides.
I love this voice acting.
At this time, 2 great empires struggled for dominion over Ivalice. Arcadia in the east, Rosaria the west.
So Arcadia is that red and Rosaria is the blue.
The invasion of the kingdom of Nabradia was Arcadia's first step in its westward march.
And Nabradia was part of Dalmasca until Arcadia took it over.
By the hellfires of war, it seemed clear that Arcadia would soon mete out a like fate to Dalmasca. The fall of the fortress at Nalbina told the destruction of the greater part of Dalmasca's forces.
So they spent, the main part of their army defending that, and now that main part of the army is gone.
Faithful. But against the martial might of the Arcadian armies, they stood little chance of victory. Indeed, their defeat was to be absolute. Soon thereafter, Arcadia came forward, offering terms of peace, or, as one might rather put it, terms of Dalmasca's surrender.
Right.
Lord Ramenos, King of Dalmasca,
surrender,
and my dear friend, had no choice but to accept these terms. It was, thus, only with reluctance that he set out for Nalbina Fortress, now under Arcadian occupation. to affix his seal to the Emperor's Treaty of Peace. The king had scarce departed his royal city of Rabanasta when the remnants of the Order made their return, and not a moment too soon, for a terrible revelation awaited them. The treaty would be signed with steel and writ in royal blood.
A little foreshadowing here, which is not foreshadowing too far into the future, actually.
You there?
So we're going to wake up and we're going to be this guy.
It's as I feared. They're slowing us down.
Do not say that. Not all of us are here for love of battle. He fights to defend his homeland. Your name?
So that's
Rex,
Bosch,
sir.
who we
name is
saw
Rex.
Good.
in the movie.
Rex.
And this young one
You bore a few
we're under
cuts.
control of. His name's
You
Rex.
are still whole. Well, can you stand?
And the guy back there is
Think you can fight?
I'm
I'm
fine,
blanking.
sir.
Vossler.
How
His
old
name.
are you, Rex?
17, sir.
Young. Family?
My brother is all I have left, sir. He's 2 years younger than I, living in Rabanastre.
So young.
So Rex has a
You're barely
brother
old enough
who's
to
2
be a
years
man.
younger than him,
You
and
shouldn't
he's
be forced to wield
17.
a sword.
No, sir.
There's a
I
15-year-old
want to
living
fight
in Rabanastre.
for my homeland. And for my parents.
It's time, Bosch.
There's
Save
really
the
only
discussion for
one
later.
reason that
We must
that
reach the
little
king before they act.
nugget of
or
information
all
is
our
mentioned.
efforts will be in vain.
I'm aware of the situation.
We found them! Over there!
Vossler, go ahead. I will handle this rabble.
Godspeed.
So these are Order of the Knights of the Order of Damaska, and I guess they're like I'm guessing they're the militia. Like they're like a paramilitary group, I guess.
Steady, Rex.
They're more like homeland
Keep your wits
defense.
about you and you'll make it.
So when the army was sent to Nalbina to make sure the fortress didn't get taken, and then they were wiped out, and the fortress got taken anyway, then here come the paramilitary homeland defense sort of unit. And of course I have to go through all this mindless tutorial stuff, teaching you how to play the game. As a matter of fact, I don't think that this stuff was included in the original. It might have been, but it just seems like I forgot. I don't have any memory of this being in the original version, so I think they thought that you would just naturally pick up on things more keenly. But in this one, I guess they hold your hand a little more. Action icon, like, I mean, if you played 9 and stuff, you're used to this kind of stuff. Drive back any Imperials standing between us and the king. Okay, so, I feel like I need to mention something. So, basically, this is an Ivalice game. This one's set in Ivalice. There are many Ivalice games in the Final Fantasy series, but they're not like mainline titles like 12 is. So, Final Fantasy Tactics was put out between 7 and 8. And there was another game called Tactics Ogre that Square put out, and Yasumi Matsuno was in charge of that game. When people saw how great it was, and revolutionary it would be, basically Sakaguchi, who had made the first 6 games and had input
Captain?
on number 7, he was like, yeah, you know what? Let's have Matsuno over here. Let's have him make a game. And so they had Final Fantasy Tactics come out, and Tactics was critically acclaimed. It was at least a cult classic, I'm sure. I didn't come on the scene until Final Fantasy IX, so it's hard for me to judge, you know, how the population took it overall. I'm at least very certain that in Japan it went over way better than it did in the States, because the love for Tactics in Japan is just overwhelming, and I mean it's pretty high here in the States. So basically Matsuno continued to merge with the developers at Square, you know, for the Final Fantasy team, and he actually worked on Final Fantasy IX. So it's not surprising when I played 9 first, then I went back and played a lot of games before 10 came out, and then I played a lot of games, like very, very early games after 10 came out, and then I played 12, and I saw sort of that flare back that I saw from 9, because I believe Matsuno has this this effect on games, narratively and artistically. I just think that games are less cutthroat and less serious. And maybe that's not even a true assessment, because, I mean, Final Fantasy XII is politically very cutthroat. But I would say just less emo-y and less sad. You know what I'm saying? It's there's like an emotional miasma in some of the mainline Final Fantasy games, and in a Yasumi Matsuno game, it seems like all of the characters would normally be lighthearted and happy, if not for the effects in the world that are bringing them down. And I think that's what I like about games that Yasumi Matsuno is part of.
To stop now. Men like him don't die in places like this.
I believe that
we must make haste to
the
reach
characters are more lovable.
We will take him to safety.
Is His Majesty unharmed?
He'll agree to an unconditional surrender.
They
wouldn't dare touch him until the wax on
they
his
seem
seal
to
is dry.
process
But if we arrive after he signed
seriousness
the treaty.
and gravity in the story better, because they are not serious and causing gravity themselves. Whereas in 7, it's like, well, you start off as a terrorist group, so I mean, you're already pretty lit. You're already pretty woke to the fact that, you know, there's a savage technology war going on. And, you know, in 9, you pretty much are just sort of discovering the story as it goes, and the mood starts out really, really high and light and airy, and it only basically gets dampened down, I guess by... Did we go the wrong way here? I feel like we might have went the wrong way. I feel like maybe we just shouldn't try to fight everyone. Yeah, we shouldn't be trying to fight everyone. We should be running. Because we'll never get through at this speed. Okay, so we can save here. Oh, and he's gonna tell us about it. But yes, in Ivalice games in general, and in games that Yasumi Matsuno has worked on, it does seem that the actual negative effects and storyline events in the story are what bring the mood down in an otherwise pretty fun, pretty lighthearted game. That's what I like about these games that show his influence, and not only his influence, but the influence of the other great designers and developers who have been influenced by his work.
Sir,
which there are many of those. And if you play Final Fantasy XIV, that game continues to show the influence of Matsuno and Matsuno like-minded developers, I should say. So he was not involved in that project at all in the beginning, but they brought him back for the Ivalice raids, and that was big, I think, in 2017, which is like 3 years ago now, but I believe it went over so big that they made just a part of the world continue to be Ivalice. And if I'm wrong about that, feel free to you know, correct me. Because I actually haven't played 14 since launch. I basically played it for the free trial period. And I think I played the Evoker, or it was not the Black Mage, not the White Mage, but like the Summoner, like the Pet Summoner or something. So in this cutscene, we find that everyone's dead. All of the Knights of the Order of Dalmasca who were dispatched at this time, all the Nalbanite proper military armed forces, everyone's basically dead here. And King Ramenas of Dalmasca,
Your Majesty.
he's dead too. And Bosch has killed
Captain.
our man.
Why? Our king. What have you done?
The king intended all along to sell Dalmasca to the Empire. His Majesty was a traitor.
Captain,
Seize the insurgent.
Hello.
So Bosch has killed our good King Ramenas.
So much for peaceful negotiations.
We'll never surrender to you. We are not cattle to be sold by a traitor king.
But the war is over, my dear captain.
But if that's true, where's Vossler?
Dalmasca is the property of the Empire now. And think, we intended to let you keep some of your sovereignty. Out of respect.
So,
But now you've
Vayne is
gone
now
and
saying, you
ruined
know,
that.
we were going to let
Haven't
you
you,
keep some
Captain?
sovereignty.
We will never bow to you.
And the people of Dalmasca will hate you for it. Take the captain away.
Off you go.
So basically, they're going to imprison Bosch for killing a king, and it seems like he hasn't denied that he killed the king, but it almost seems like a setup. It seems too convenient that this new politician, we'll learn his name is
Pretenses of peace
Vayne,
left by the wayside.
Lord
The
Vayne.
Arcadian forces resumed their advance toward Rabanasta.
He was all too happy
Dalmasca's doom had been decided.
that the king Ramenas
To
had
make
been killed.
resistance would serve no end. With this foremost in my thoughts, I, to the people of Dalmasca. Sons
Samaki
and daughters of
Amdor
Dalmasca,
is
I
addressing
bid you lay
Damascus.
down your arms. raise songs of prayer in their stead.
He's telling them
for His
basically to
Majesty
surrender.
King Raminas, ever merciful, a man devoted wholly to peace. Prayer, too, for the noble Princess Ash, who, wrought with grief at her kingdom's defeat, has taken her own life. Know also that Captain Bosch von Ronsenberg, for incitement
Which
of
is just
sedition
an
and the
absurd
assassination
name.
of His Royal Majesty King Raminas, has been found guilty of high treason and put to his death. They who at this late hour choose still the sword are cut of the same cloth as the captain. Traitors who would lead Dalmasca to her ruin.
Very strong words.
Dalmasca's surrender without terms was soon to follow.
So, I mean, Marquis Halemandor, actually, the game pronounces this wrong. They call him Marquis, and I took French. So I know that Marquis is supposed to be pronounced Marquis. So Marquis Halemandor basically was ya boy. If you were from Rabanastre, he was like your friend. He's the king from the next kingdom over.
Find us.
Well, not the king, but you know, the Marquis or whatever.
I know. Just a little more.
He's in charge of that Sky
eye from
City
up
up there,
there,
Guzherba, which we haven't seen yet.
One, two,
and he just basically turned his back on us because,
time to clean
I mean,
house.
tactically speaking, at this point, he had little other choice. So, we're not going to chase the rat that's over there. We're going to... Oh, well, he's going to run away. And we're going to have to do Diarat A here. So, part of this playthrough is... This is a perfect game playthrough.
Yeah.
I guess not a perfect gameplay. What would this be called? This would be called a no-job playthrough for the first part of the game. Because you get a chance right off in the beginning to choose your first job.
Vaughn, you got them all yourself?
And
Guess I know who to call when something big comes along.
so our little buddy Kites loves
Hey,
us
it's good
already.
practice for the desert. I'm ready for anything now.
Now, Vaughn, how old does he look? He looks about maybe
That's enough for today.
15-ish, doesn't he?
You should get back to Miguel's place, Kites.
More on that later.
Aren't you running errands for him?
Oops. Totally forgot.
But yeah, so this playthrough
You should come, Vaughn.
sort of like a challenge run for
He's
me,
busy
and I
today.
want to be able to
Might
pick
have some work
both
for you
jobs
to
at the
do,
same
too.
time.
I've got other,
So,
work to do. Hey, lock this place
the
up for
point
me,
at
will you?
which
If Miguel finds out
the
we've been
second
down
job
here,
gets
he'll tan our
unlocked.
hides.
It's not very far into the narrative. So we're going to get to that point, and at that point, with 0 jobs picked, I will then go ahead and pick both jobs for each of my people in my party. And at that point, we'll have the whole party too, so it'll be very convenient and very easy. We're going to set up that save file, and I'm basically teaching you how to make that save file so that in the future
Sir, you haven't
you and I can use our perfect save files
take it. It's a
Leave the poor
to start
sod be, we don't
games.
want trouble today.
challenge runs for different
Your luck, peddler.
combinations of jobs.
Oops, sorry.
And as long as you're okay with,
Watch where you're going,
you know,
sir.
never replaying this first part,
What? My pouch. It's gone.
it's a great.
The boy.
Oh, he stole the Imperial's
way.
money pouch. So Vaughn's a great thief too, not just a rat killer. All right. But yeah, so I'll be using this beginning part of this game, this mini section, this mini series, as a basis for all of the future challenge runs that I'm going to be doing with job
Hey,
combinations.
that's mine.
What do you mean, yours? You've been stealing again. What happens if they catch you?
Sorry, Mom.
We need you to be there for us, Vaughn. You're no good to anyone if you're locked away in a dungeon.
Oh, what? Am I the leader now?
This is all the baby mama drama without a baby
First thing
even
you
in the
learn is
picture.
you gotta watch out for yourself. Come on, Penelo. You know it as well as I do. Hey, you give that back.
Well, at least Penelo is the
I thought that this money was the people of
responsible one.
Dalmasca's property. The Imperials stole it from us, so it's only fair that we take it back. It's our duty as Dalmascans. Well, wasn't that what you said?
Yeah, but I never said anything about taking it back from me.
She's going to punish him.
This is for that bread you took the other day. Just because I help Miguelo out every now and then, it doesn't mean that you get to eat for free too, you know.
I know that. You think I like living like this?
Van wants to fly.
One of these days, I'll fly an airship of my own. I'll be a sky pirate, free to go where I will.
And I'm not gonna steal bread like Aladdin.
Well, be careful. You'll never fly anything if you're rotting in a dungeon.
I mean, that's the truth.
Oh, Miguelo had some errands that need doing. He wanted you to drop by his place. It might be a good idea to lend a hand.
Or else I'll tell on you. Yeah, basically, most of Van's problems in this story stem from the fact that Penelo told him to do something, or he's doing something to save Penelo, or, you know, something along those lines. Okay, so they're gonna give us the map tutorial now. Which I guess wasn't that bad. It was just one screen, so that's pretty good. So we're gonna make our way to Miguelo's shop, and we don't have a whole lot of money right now, so like at this point in the game, in vanilla, I would be trying to fight monsters, grind gambits, things like, you know, get buy gambits from stores. We're not going to be doing a whole lot of that in the front part because
supposed to be arriving by courier in the morning. Perhaps
we're just going to be going straight to the first summon.
Now I've no foodstuffs to prepare for the banquet tonight.
So his cart got robbed.
Hey, no problem.
No problem. The desert teem's with trouble. I'd be sending you to early grave, my boy. No, I've arranged for some replacement goods from Tomage over at the Sandsea.
So you want me to go to the tavern to pick him up?
Actually, I asked Kites to do that. Wouldn't you know he's gone missing on me, too. I can't leave my shop, and I've Penelo on another chore at the moment, you see. What I want you to do is run over to the Sandsea and fetch Kites back. What do you say?
Sounds wild.
So
it's easy work, and you'll thank me for it someday.
He didn't even call us to, like, find and apprehend and correct the thieves. He didn't send us to the local restaurant to get the replacement goods. He sent us to find the person he sent to the local restaurant to replace the goods. I mean, we are... You can't get any lower on the totem pole than this right now. And looking at Kites, I don't know what he's got that Van doesn't have. Besides maybe just loyalty and a want to please, I guess.
Stop loafing around.
Look, Vaughn, look! This is it! This is why Miguelo's courier didn't get here on time.
Creature spotted in the Ester Sand. What is that thing?
Ah, Vaughn. Miguelo sent you too, did he? He's a busy man these days, that Miguelo, if I dare say so myself. I don't envy him the work, though. Not a bit. Quite the affair throwing a banquet to welcome the Imperials, eh?
Welcoming? We should be... whatever. Say, Tomage, what's this?
Nah, don't remind me. Got some nastiness out there in the Ester Sand. What's stopping our couriers? And that means shortages all around. Thought I'd put up a bill, offer a reward to anyone who can knock that nasty back in its place.
Now that's work. Sounds 10 times better than running errands for Miguelo.
That's right. Vaughn, you should give it a shot.
And you should be getting back to Miguelo. Now, Kites. He was waiting for you.
Oh, right.
So we've sent the messenger boy back, and now we learn one of the most important things about Vaughn, his delusions of grandeur. So here's how it works. People post bills here on the notice board when they have a monster they need taken care of. Headhunters track people, right? Well, hunters track monsters. The monster you're hunting is called your mark. Here's the bill I posted for the rogue tomato, a mark I've petitioned to have hunted. Yeah, let's go. So this is the mark system. This is your first mark out of 50 in the game. This is basically our introduction into a whole side quest line that's built into the game that is pretty extraordinary and is the basis of the entire hunt mark quest in Final Fantasy 13 as well. So let's start with accepting hunts. You can't just take a look at the board then go running off to hunt the mark. You'll miss out on the bounty. Actually, the way this game is designed, you won't even find the mark until you've talked to the person who posted the bill. So you'll not just only miss out on the bounty, you'll be walking around in circles saying, where is this mark supposed to be? So you gotta talk to the person who posted the bill, the petitioner, first, and let him know you're going on the hunt. Take this rogue tomato bill, for example. I posted it, so I'm the petitioner. You have to come talk to me. Let's call that step done, okay? Once your agreement's in place, the petitioner will tell you how to find the mark. Then you hunt it, report back, and claim the bounty. Oh, and I'll give you something to help keep track of your hunts. A clan primer. Use it to refresh your memory about hunts you've accepted. So we got this clan primer, which is going to help us keep track of our hunts. Just a little something you can commemorate your first hunt. Ooh, an Arakia armlet. So what does that do for us? I think it gives us 50 extra HP. So we can't equip it yet because we don't have a license for it. And we actually won't be having licenses. We won't be buying any licenses or using any license points because we won't even be picking jobs for this front part of the game. Okay, learn by doing. So he's going to give us the license part in our menu. A writ of transit. Because remember, Dalmasca has been occupied by Arcadian soldiers, so he's giving us a writ of transit so that we can get back into the city when we've left. So this very first hunt is mandatory. We're gonna have to do it. Let's see. Try equipping the Arakia armlet. No. We are not going to pick our license. But if we were going to pick our license, they would want us to pick a job first. So, we're not going to pick one. We have 6 license points, and we're going to stick with it. Equip. Okay, so we have a license for dagger, leather cap, and leather clothing, and pretty much this is going to be all of the stuff that we could use. We can't even use the Arakia armlet. It's going to raise our defense and magic resist by 1, and it's going to give us 25 extra points. I guess that's not too bad. I thought it was going to be like 50 points that we were missing out on. So I mean, I'm even less excited to equip that. And I'm pretty much half as worried that we can't. Hunts. So we have number 1, the rogue tomato. We have the bestiary. We have killed the dire rat. The bestiary will just fill out as we go. So hunt accepted. The rogue tomato can be found on the Damascus Easter Sand. Traveler's tips. We don't want to do any of those. Okay, so we're good. So let's go hunt this rogue tomato. So the thing about this game is it's pretty much basically set up with a gambit system, and what a gambit system is, it's basically a way for you to set up like computer codes. It will go through protocols. If this condition has been met, then if this condition has been met, then. So it's like an if-then protocol for a computer program. And it's basically supposed to run itself. If you've done the gambits correctly, you have very little clicking of the button that you have to do during
no public passage on account of the Lord
during a
Consul's
fight.
parade.
Oh, gee, that's too bad.
So
you see, it just so happens that your provisioner for the fete tonight, he sent me to pick up a few choice morsels for the consul's dining pleasure. He wants them quick. I got the writ of transit right here. You see?
Writ of transit.
Signed, Miguelo.
So,
I just hate to see the consul upset because his food wasn't ready on time. And I sure hate to see him take it out on you.
Oh, yeah.
The Lord Consul is a great
I'd
man.
hate to see your
and
boss
no one
take out his anger on
take
you.
offense in such trifling matters.
Let me out of the door before I call your boss.
Move along, boy. Wouldn't do to keep the consul waiting. Right. Gates are closed after this.
So, yeah, so during this first part of the game, I will have to be clicking a bunch of buttons. I'll have to be manually fighting enemies. The good thing, though, is that once you choose attack to attack an enemy, at least the game knows well enough to let your character automatically keep attacking that enemy until it's dead. So if you don't press anything else, then you'll just fight an enemy till it's dead. And now we may have to use a potion or two to kill this rogue tomato, but you know, I think after we use a potion, then I'll have to select attack to attack the tomato again. But theoretically, if you didn't have to use any potions, then you simply would hack on a thing until it was dead. So I'm going to attack him from all the way back here.
Ha. Yeah.
Come on, buddy. Oh, he's gonna get poopy and run off. And now he's put distance between us and him. So he's gonna sit down there now. Mechanically, when you're that far away from something, they can begin to heal. And the healing it takes time. Now we have to fight this wolf. Good thing it went down quickly because the rogue tomato is healing as we speak. So, I don't think it healed that much. I think we pretty much got the drop on it. Alright, now, after this scene, I think that wolf is going to try to kill us. So we've completed our first hunt. Wow, pretty sweet.
Galbana lilies?
Van just finds these flowers here that, we don't even know what they mean yet.
Never thought I'd see him growing out here.
I'm still not sure I know what these mean. I may be forgetting something.
Time to call it a day.
But this seems irrelevant that he's picking flowers at this point in time. Handful of Galbana lilies, okay. Whatever. So, I guess that wolf doesn't want any. He saw how quickly we killed that tomato. And this is as good a time as any to hightail it back to the petitioner now that we've hunted the mark. So they won't let her through because she doesn't have a writ of transit. Now this is weird, these bags. They closed the gates before they finished inspecting our things. Ugh. It's terrible. Okay. Let's see, what are we gonna do here? We let me through, nothing to do now but wait till the ceremony's over. Guess I'm not the only one who got locked out of the city. Kites, what are you doing here? Oh, so he came out here with Penelo to find us? Oh, man. And then she split.
Stand back there.
So.
Back! This gate's closed until the
Well, that's
ceremony's
great.
over, do you hear?
Now what?
Open the gate!
Well, they'll open the gate for a chocobo, huh? But
Wait
not
a
for a
second.
human being?
How come you let these chocobos through the gate and not us?
What of
Right.
it? This here's a pedigreed parader, boy.
Cost tens of thousands of gil, this one did.
A prettier price than 100 of you provincials would fetch.
Ooh.
Keep your
you
distance.
idiot.
We don't want the chocobo sticking a peasant.
What'd you say?
Step aside.
Now that's
Right
funny
in,
because
move 'em in.
chocobos are canonically stinky animals.
Oh,
And he said that he didn't want the chocobos stinking of peasant.
that does it.
Oh, a fine,
man.
fine chocobo you have there. Yes, cedar down stock if I'm not mistaken. Change the soil, change the chocobo, am I right? Yes, different soil means different bouquet, too. Take a Dalmascan Barreau's wine, eh? It may lack the flavor and depth of some of your Arcadian wines, but it has a certain strength of character. It's not bad, really, once you get used to it. Care for some, sirs? There's more than enough for all to cool their throats, of course.
A nice bribe.
You let these carts through and closest gate is ordered. My mail's choked with this sand.
The soldier recognizes his bride.
Ha! You're lucky that ended where it did.
Right. Now's our chance to go through.
The ceremony will be starting
Well,
soon.
run.
I'd best be hurrying.
Okay, well...
When that thing closes, it closes in a
wait,
snap, man.
what is
So
it? Fawn!
come on, kites. You gotta get through too. Van wants to see the man who ordered all this destruction on his town. Well, this is the son of the enemy king anyway, so... a man who at least did nothing to stop his father, who did order the destruction of this town. Aw, Penelo loves him. But it's still unclear, is this like a older sister love, or is this like a romance? We won't know.
I give you your new consul, His Imperial Highness Lord Vane
Imperial Highness Lord Vane Salador.
Arcadian Empire's western arm.
Vane Salador. So Vane's like, yeah, I've had enough of your talking, I'm just gonna approach.
People of Rabanastre, is it with hatred you look upon your consul? With hatred you look upon the Empire? There was little point in asking. But know this, I harbor no idle hopes of frustrating that hatred. Nor shall I ask your fealty. That is the due of your fallen king, and rightly so. King Ramanas loved his people, strove to bring you peace.
So,
was a rule
speak good of
your devotion.
The dead king.
Even now, he remains among you.
Encourage them.
Protecting you. His ardor for the peace and weal of Dalmasca falters not. I would ask
incorrectly paraphrase
Together, let us embrace
his ideologies out of context.
2 years now divide us from war's bitter end. Yet still its
and trick them into thinking
stifling the infant peace
that this is what their fallen king would want.
Achieve but this one thing, and your hatred of me and of the Empire will grieve me not. I will stand
and pretend like he won't be offended.
Your slings and arrows. I will defend Dalmasca.
And that he is on our team.
I will pay my debt. I swear it now.
Lord Vane really is a good politician.
They stand ever at the side of their people.
Oh, so Lady Ashe is dead too.
Honor to their memory and to Dalmasca. What I ask plain. My hopes now rest with you.
Or at the very least missing. I think they said that she died of a broken heart over the death of her husband, Rassler, who was just married. She just married him, and then now he's dead already. I mean, I don't even think they got a honeymoon. So, you know, no trip to the Bermudas or anything.
It is magnificent. Take this
or
cathedral,
Bahamas,
for instance.
I guess.
Elegant, yet whimsical in its execution. A stunning example of Galtean architecture. I hope Lord
Not that they have
might one
Bahamas
day look upon it himself.
in this game. But you know what I mean.
The patron of this evening's banquet, may it please your excellency.
I am Miguelo, your highness. It is truly a profound honor to make the acquaintance of our future emperor, highness. The people of Rabanastre join me in welcoming
That's
you.
enough of highness. Though indeed I am our emperor's son, I am no prince. Arcadia's emperor is freely chosen by her people. I am but an elected official and nothing more.
I meant no disrespect.
Now that I think on it, I would not have you address me as Lord Consul, for that matter.
No?
Henceforth, I am a citizen of Rabanastre. Why don't you call me Vane?
I
I'm
could
your
not.
boy.
That would not be right.
You are overly fond of formalities. I've just the remedy for that. Tonight you will join me, and we shall drink until you call me by name.
I'm gonna get you drunk until I get street cred.
How can he stand about to him like that?
Fawn, you just do not get it, do you? He's not doing it because he wants to.
Lord Vane never did.
You know what would happen if he didn't.
I know, it's just...
So, what would you do different?
I don't know. Well... I'd do something.
Fawn.
Ven just will
Vaughn,
not let
you
his
haven't heard
hatred
a
for the
single word
Empire
I've said, have you?
rest.
This place has changed so much. It's like it's not even Rabanastre anymore. Like the Empire is swallowing it whole.
Hey, Penelo, that fate tonight. You think they'll let us in?
Are you crazy? It's in the palace, and we don't have an invitation if you hadn't noticed.
So, how are we getting in?
As if I'd know. Why not ask Magello to get you in? Or go see old Dallin in Lowtown? Why
Old
the sudden
Dallin.
interest, Vaughn?
I told you, I'm going to take back what's ours. Give back to Dalmasca. Come on, what do you think? If I find something, and it fetches a good price, how about I buy you all dinner?
Oh, please. You know as well as I do the first thing you'd buy is an airship. All hail Vaughn, sky part of Dalmasca. It's got a nice ring to it.
Van wants to risk getting thrown in jail for the rest of his life, just so that he can buy Penelo and everyone Red Lobster.
I don't know. Maybe, but not through Magello. Time to pay old Dallin a visit.
Okay. So old Dallin is another contact who, like Magello, has a lot of connections in this city. And these people are going to be important soon. Okay, so we're supposed to enter the Lowtown now. And there it is right there. I wonder if we can jump in here yet. Door is firmly shut. Ah, you've got your primer, so you have. Well, what are you standing about here for? I'm in with you. Don't quite recall your face, or you knew you might want to pay special heed to what folks inside have to say. Okay. So, this is not what the story is telling us to do, but this is like our clan Centurio headquarters. This is different from the hunts, the 50 hunts in the main hunt quest line, but this is like a sort of a special private hunters guilds in Rabanastre. Montblanc is the leader. Very strict entrance examination. We should begin yours at once, and you pass. Okay, so we are now a member of Clan Centurio. Especially dangerous marks. So this allows us to make purchases from a clan shop in the Muthru Bazaar. We get 3 potions for joining. No hunts. Okay. So all of these people around here will, you know, tell us something different. Not really gonna go around to all of them because we'll pretty much meet all of them through the course of our Clan Centurio quest line. I'm checking now in the guide, but I'm pretty sure the hunts that come from this are different from the 50 normal hunts. I could be wrong about that. I think maybe some of the Clan Centurio hunts are included in the 50 game hunts. But here's, down here is the Muthru Bazaar. It's in the western part of town, in the south part of the western part here. Somebody normally sits there, but is not sitting there at this point in the game yet. And the Muthru Bazaar is down here. It's this guy who sells... He's the clan provisioner. Things I can sell you depend on your clan rank. You want to crack the good stuff? That's raise your rank. I doubt you'll be disappointed. Didn't mean to talk your ear off. Go on and take a look at what we have. For your rank, of course. So right now we cannot even buy decoy, because we don't have enough money. We can't sell the dagger, and there's nothing in the bazaar. Things will show up in the bazaar when we have sold things. So basically we'll be worrying about selling, I guess, like loot items that drop from enemies in correct amounts, like recipe amounts, to buy packages from the clan shop, from the bazaar, and these packages are what gives us, you know, our equipment that's going to be valuable for the rest of the game. I'm looking for some NPCs that just aren't here yet in the game, and I should probably just go where we've been directed. So we were told to go to the Low Town. We're not looking for Magello this time, we're looking for Dallin. And that being the case, I'm going to go down to the save crystal down here, the orange thing on the left. So I'll get the save crystal there. So here's a weapon shop. We just passed a shield shop. There's the item shop. I mean, the layout is pretty simple. And there's like a magic shop, and there's a gambit shop, and a technic shop. And those are, I guess, a little more confusing if you don't have your, you know, if you're not used to the game yet, but they're not that hard overall. Alright, so let's save here. Rabanastre, Eastgate, yeah, we can save over this. As you can see, I already have save files, so I'm pretty much repeating a process that I've already done in a playthrough that I did prior to my streaming habits. So, I pretty much really just learned how to stream because of my daughter. She wanted to do it, so I learned how to do it. And now, we're replaying games that I had sort of cracked into, but I haven't beaten this version of the game yet, so... As it happens, I share this channel with my daughter. She plays some Kingdom Hearts 3 on her own, and we play some Minecraft together. And I have already made a Final Fantasy IX playlist on my own. And I just started a Final Fantasy VII playlist last week, and I'm starting this Final Fantasy XII playlist this week. So, I figured it'll give me more variety. Towards the end of the Final Fantasy IX playthrough, it had become like work that I had to do, and I didn't like that. I wanted to feel like I was playing a game that I enjoyed most of all. So I'll have 7 open at the same time as 12, and therefore I'll have a choice. You know, whenever I feel I want something light and airy, I'll play 12, and whenever I want to just get down to serious business, we'll go for 7. So here we are at the entrance to Lowtown. I guess I'll cut the video here because we're at an hour and 5. Go ahead and like and subscribe and hit notification button, whatever you want to do to lend my daughter's channel some support, and I'll appreciate it as well. And I'll see you on the next video. This has been StiltzkinKupo84 with Cat and Fam Gamer TV, signing out.